Hello, and I welcome you all to Artemis IAS. I am Aniket Singh, and in today's Indian Express Explained series, we are having four articles, right? So, without wasting any further time, let's get started. The first article is about how the Uttarakhand, how in the Uttarakhand UCC regulates the living relationships, right? So, first article is about how the Uttarakhand UCC regulates the living relationships. Second one is about the illegal immigration issue. Third is the escalation conflict in Congo and why is it important and why its neighbor are involved. Fourth is FIDE यानी कि FIDE and freestyle chess organizers may end feud soon. What is the dispute? Right? So the first article is about how the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code regulates live-in relationship. So it's a very important and much talked about topic of Uniform Civil Code. So you have to tell me in the comment box key in which article the Uniform Civil Code is given in the Constitution of India, right? So, the context for GS paper 2 is governance and social justice. The Uttarakhand government has introduced a framework for the registration of live-in relationships as a part of its Uniform Civil Code implementation. The regulation mandates the registration of all live-in relationships involving Uttarakhand residents, even if they reside outside the state. So, the Uttarakhand government, which has introduced the UCC, has said that you have to register all the live-in relationships as a part of its UCC, and the regulation mandates that the registration of all live-in relationships involving Uttarakhand residents, even if they reside outside the state. So the point here is that if two persons and they belong to Uttarakhand and both of them A and B, both of them are living in, let's say, Delhi, right? Both of them are living in Delhi, and now the law says, the UCC says that both have to register their live in relationship in Uttarakhand. So, this is the law. It doesn't matter if you are living in Delhi, Karnataka, Puducherry, or Northeast, Uttarakhand, anywhere. If you are Uttarakhand citizen, if you have a domicile of Uttarakhand, then you have to register your live in relationship. Doesn't matter where are you living, right? So, what is the definition? A live-in relationship is defined as a domestic arrangement. It is a domestic arrangement between an unmarried, this is important, between an unmarried man and a woman cohabiting in a shared household. So important things are domestic arrangement, ठीक है? Between an unmarried woman and a man cohabiting in a shared household. So this is the definition. If two persons are unmarried, they are not married to each other, and they are living in a shared household, cohabiting like a husband and a wife, this relationship is known as live-in relationship, right? Now, what are the requirements of registration? The couple must submit a 16-page application form. The couple have to submit a 16-page application form, a certificate from a religious leader. This is important. You have to take a certificate from a religious leader and you have to verify your eligibility to marry. For example, if two person A and B, right, they belong to according if they are Hindu and they belong to same gotra. Let's say I'm not sorry, I'm not going to name any gotra. They belong to same gotra, right? And in Hindu Marriage Act, Sagotra Vivaha, it means people belonging to same gotra cannot marry. So here the religious leader would not give a certificate to marry. This means that no, they cannot marry. The religious leader will say they cannot marry, and at that time, so what will happen? Their live-in relationship will be void. They cannot live together, right? So this is important. A certificate from religious leader is important. He will say yes, they can marry. He will give a certificate not to marry, but they are eligible to marry, right? Then personal details such as Aadhaar card, and ration card, voter ID card, anything including identification documents must be provided, right? So they are, making it a sort of a court marriage, but not a marriage at all, but they are registering it up. Why they are doing so? We'll see. Now, about the termination. How can two-person terminate their live-in relationship? So, a formal statement of separation. This is important. You have to give a statement of separation like a divorce. But keep in mind, this is not a marriage. A formal statement of separation must be filed with the authorities. Those authorities who have registered your live-in relationship, you have to file your statement of separation before them in case of a relationship dissolution. If your live-in relationship is going to be dissolved, you have to formally make a statement of separation in front of the authorities who had registered your live-in relationship earlier, right? Now, what are the penalties for non-compliance? If you are living in a live-in relationship in Uttarakhand, anywhere for say if you are Uttarakhand citizen, sorry, if you are a resident of Uttarakhand, right? Not I will not say the citizen because in India there's only one single citizenship. So if you are a resident of Uttarakhand, you have a domicile of Uttarakhand. Two people, both of them are living in Uttarakhand or anywhere else. They have not registered their live-in relationship, so it can lead to fines and possible legal consequences. You have to keep this in mind. Now, what is the rationale behind the regulation? Why this regulation has been brought into? To prevent fraudulent claims in relationships, to prevent fraudulent claims. For example, fraud rape cases, fraud domestic violence cases, right? This is the rationale behind them ki if we are going to register your live-in relationship, so it will say that if two person are living in a live-in relationship and they have not registered, so it will invite fines, it will invite legal consequences, and in the same time, in the meantime, you cannot say that yeah, I have the right because I was living with him or with her, so you cannot say that. So it is to prevent fraudulent claims. Then to protect the rights of individual in live-in relationship. We are protecting the rights of individual in a live-in relationship. For example, uh, right. For example, let's say example two people A and B, they are living together in a live-in relationship, right? What will they do? Um, the right to maintenance. Children, if they are born out of this relationship, will be considered legitimate, right? So these are some rights. Now, providing legal clarity in cases of disputes related to property, inheritance, and custody in case of the children, if the child is born. Now, the part of broader efforts to implement UCC, ensuring uniformity in personal laws. This is the most important thing to bring the uniformity in personal laws. This is why these what these live-in relationship regulation has been brought into force. Now, what are some challenges? Number one challenge is about privacy and concern. So, mandatory registration may be seen as an invasion of personal freedom. This will be called into account. For example, if I, as a person, I have a partner and we want to live in a live-in relationship, and the main reason in the mainstream today to live in a live-in relationship is that to hide your intentions, to hide that I have a girlfriend and girlfriend can say I have a boyfriend. This is to hide these concerns. That's why people are living in a live-in relationship, right? So to bypass the institution of marriage, that's why now if you are doing a registration, right, you are making the registration mandatory. This will cause privacy concerns. Now the bureaucratic hurdles, the bureaucrats, the government officials, the lengthy registration process, this may discourage compliance. People would not be compliant to this thing, right? And potential misuse of women and vulnerable individuals might face coercion in registering relationships. They will be coerced not to do this. There will be moral policing also. Ki, why are you doing this? This is not up to the the upbringing of Indians. As an Indian, you should frown upon these things. So this will be called into question. Now the constitutional validity will also might get challenged in the Supreme Court of India under the fundamental rights of Article 14, that is right to equality, and Article 21, that is right to life and personal liberty. Right. So the relevance is implication of UCC in reforming personal laws, legal recognition and protection of individual and living relationships, and balancing the state intervention with individual autonomy. I hope you got this. Second one is the illegal immigration issue. GS paper 2, this is important. International relations, GS paper 3, internal security. India has assured the United States that it will take back Indian nationals who have entered the US illegally. So India has assured the United States that we will take back the Indians who are who have gone to United States illegally, right? So the US has tightened immigration policies. US ने क्या किया है? They have tightened their immigration policies, leading to increased deportation of illegal immigrants, including Indians. So Indians was one of the highest population, highest diaspora of Indians. They were living illegally in the US. So US authorities, after the Trump administration has come into force, they are saying that no, you have to leave USA because MAGA, Make America Great Again, with America First policy, right? So, what are the key issues in illegal migration? Increased in the Indian legal migrants. So, many Indians, particularly from Punjab and Gujarat, they are migrating to the US, that is to illegally, with the use of Mexico as a transit route to enter the US illegally. So, I have already told you in the previous videos that on the Mexico and the Canada border, the US government has declared an emergency, that these are the areas from where the highest number of illegal immigrants are coming into the USA, right? So, economic factors such as employment and aspirations for better opportunities drive migration. People think that if we go to USA, it's a developed nation, right? We'll get employment, we'll get good living conditions, our life of standard, our living standard will be uplifted. So, in these, aspirations, people are going to USA. You can go and you can go, there's no problem, but you should go legally, right? So the US immigration policy has changed. I told you stricter border controls and deportation policies under the Biden administration was there, but now under the Trump administration it has become strengthened, more strict, right? So focus on dismantling human trafficking networks aiding illegal migration. The focus is also on the human trafficking networks. So people, there are two sets of people who are going to America in the search of better life opportunities, better living condition, and the other set of individuals are there who are forced to go into such places, not the US, but US as a transit hub internationally in the human trafficking networks. So this is to stop human trafficking, right? Then diplomatic engagement has been done in between India and the USA. India is working with the US to ensure that legal migration channels remain open while addressing concerns about illegal entrants. Right, legal migration channels should remain open. As an Indian, and Indian as and India as a nation should not be stigmatized. That people from only India is coming from people only from India is coming into USA via legal routes. So India should not be stigmatized. Regular diplomatic discussions on repatriation and border security cooperation should be there. Now, what the government is doing, strengthen cooperation with the US on immigration enforcement, right? Launching awareness campaigns to discourage illegal migration. We are launching some legal awareness campaigns, right? So, strengthening border security to prevent human trafficking, facilitating legal migration pathways through reforms via visa processes and work permits. This has to be done. Now, what are some challenges? Human rights concern, deportation of undocumented migrants often lead to distress. They will be distressed, they will be jobless, and they are deported back to their home countries in from which they have gone to in search of better life condition. Then consular and legal support. Many deported individuals will face difficulties in reintegration into their home countries, and the security risk. Illegal migration network often involve fraudulent documentation trafficking. Right. Next article is about the escalating conflict in Congo and neighboring involvement. So in Congo, there has been some Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. They have intensified attacks in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has led to regional tensions between the neighboring countries. The conflict had led to an increase in the displacement and humanitarian concern. There has been displacement and humanitarian concerns in uh, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the neighboring countries. So, what are some key issues? So, ethnic and resource based conflict. There has been an ethnic conflict, right? The Democratic Republic of Congo is rich in minerals, and it has led to conflict over the resource control. Easy. Then ethnic rivalries between communities exacerbated by historical grievances. There has been some historical grievances. For example, the Manipur issue, you can correlate with them, right? Then the regional implications. Neighboring countries like Uganda and Burundi are involved in counterinsurgency efforts. So it is escalating the regional tensions also. Risk of broader regional conflict impacting East African stability. So the East Africa has been unstable for quite some time because of these uh, M23 rebels that are backed by Rwanda, right? So what are some humanitarian crises? So thousands of people will be displaced due to ongoing violence, and it will keep going on. Refugees movement toward neighboring nations increase pressure on regional stability. For example, people coming from Congo come to Rwanda and all these places. There has been rise of crime, instability, right? And the international response is that in the United Nations and African Union are working on the mediation efforts. Sanction and peacekeeping operations are being considered, right? So India is among the highest uh, contributor to the UN peacekeeping forces. So, what is the India's role? India's peacekeeper plays a significant role in the UN mission in Congo, and the India's diplomatic stance emphasizes peaceful conflict resolution. Our honorable Prime Minister has also mediated between Ukraine and Russia and the Israel and Palestine issue also. So we can say that we will do help here also, right? Now, the last article is about FIDE versus freestyle chess feud. So there has been conflict between FIDE and Freestyle Chess Fund Chess. So though FIDE, the World Chess Federation, and the Freestyle Chess organizers over tournament governments and ranking system, FID is saying that we have to stick towards the old criteria, and we should not move towards more economic concerns and towards commercializing the chess. But the freestyle chess players organizers are saying that we should move towards commercializing. For example, IPL. So they're wanting to do something IPL sort of things, right? So what are the issues? So governance dispute. FIDA maintains that it is the sole governing body for international chess, whereas freestyle chess introduces new rules. It will challenge the FID's traditional framework, right? So, what are the impacts on player? Chess players risk exclusion from FIDE sanctions events if they participate in freestyle tournaments. If they're going to participate in freestyle tournament for more money and more fame, then there might be some risk that they are going to be excluded from FIDE. है ना? FIDE can impose some sanctions on them. So sponsorship deals and earning might be affected if they are sticking towards the FIDE. So what is the global chess landscape right now? Rise of independent chess leagues providing alternative competitive platforms. Debate over innovation versus maintaining standardization in sports governance. There has been a debate over if we should move towards new rules, towards commercialization, towards making more money, and between and versus the maintaining the old standards. So what are some implications? So possible fragmentation in global chess government. There could be different fragments, different divisions of powers between global chess governance, right? Potential rise of independent chess organizers. They can be one of the emerging areas. Influence of corporate sponsorship in reshaping chess tournaments to make more money, right? So this is the FIDA versus freestyle feud competition. So what are some UPSC relevance governance challenges in sports? Role of global institution in maintaining sports integrity. I hope you like this lecture. From today, we are going to make full Hindi video also and full English video also. This English video will be serving the needs of the aspirants from Northeast India and from South India also, right? Because in English there are many YouTubers who are making and YouTube teachers who are making videos in full Hindi and English, but I think there is a need to make videos in full English also so that uh, widest base of the students can be catered, right? So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. And if you want this PDF, you can go to the telegram group, the link of which is provided in the description box. I hope you like this video, and thank you.